Welcome to slide 3. In my previous slide, I mentioned that I was going to produce a slide covering the adult population who really need to know what the anatomy of information looks like. You may recall that I gave a warning that only the adult will fully appreciate the anatomy of information. If you've forgotten, please return to slide 2 to remind yourself. In this slide, I will explain in detail the three types of adults who needs to understand the anatomy of information if they want to understand the 11 problems that hold businesses and society to the mercy of the adolescent and child. If you're interested in finding how the three view fun, please see my work on prisms. The link can be found on the PDF of this slide or by sending me an email via my email address, which appears on slide 1. So let me recap by stating that the adult falls into three types: the dreamer, logician or theoretician, and practitioner. Children and adolescents are hardly ever practical or theoretical, but at least in adolescence may respond to logic. So who is the dreamer? The dreamer is an adult who can be a business owner, any one of the 50+ C-type officers, a business operative such as a middle manager or operational manager, a politician or indeed any duly elected representative, religious leader, philosopher, and even a member of a family. In previous slides I made mention of the 11 problems that need to be solved. The dreamer has to be able to understand 8 of these problems, and with the help of the logician should be able to solve all of them. A dreamer may not be interested in the details of how to actually solve the last 3 problems. However, they should be at least know that these problems exist and will be addressed at the right time. And who is the logician? These are the architects that are needed to translate the dreams and turn them into blueprints. These usually come from a more technical sphere rather than from the business sector. However, a number of business operatives may wish to change their career from, say, an accountant or lawyer to that of a business enterprise, knowledge or solutions architect. Not many will pursue the last 2 vocations, as they are the most difficult. Hence, a logician or theoretician can be an information architect who should be capable of solving all 11 problems, or any of the derivatives of positions called the enterprise architect, also known as the business architect or the strategic planner, although these positions are not well placed to architect the knowledge component of the anatomy nor the information technology problem, and hence should only be capable of solving 5 or 6 of the 8 serious problems, but more on that later. For a more detailed view on how the logicians interact with both the dreamer and the practitioner, please read my work called the Mind Map Protocol. The link can be found on the PDF of the slide or by sending me an email via my email address, which appears on slide 1. So who is the practitioner? Now, these are adults such as a program and project manager, as well as a solutions architect. They are involved solely in the pursuit of information technology, also known as DevOps, a portmanteau word describing the development and operational departments of an organization. They should, however, realize that even though they only have 3 problems to solve, whereas the business has 8, if DevOps disregard the solution to the 8 business problems, they run the risk of project overruns, irrelevant and possibly redundant solutions, and ultimate failures. Now, I have a war story that I can relate proving this point. In 2000, I worked for Optus, preparing their Senior Management Monthly Key Performance Indicator Pack. Part of my brief was to collect data about the projects that IT was working on. DevOps decided to automate their project management system, but I was never asked to participate. When it came time for the development department to unveil their prototype, both my boss and I discovered a glaring error in the first screen. The developers required the project manager to enter the project number that they were working on, when they should have had the project manager log on to the system and receive a list of their relevant projects. A small oversight, but nevertheless a costly one, as it meant they needed to do more work on the database design, create additional dialog screens, and do a lot more coding. Well, on to the next slide, where I will demonstrate the kind of castle that dreamers try to build in the air and then try to force others to live in hovels.